Luke chapter 1 verse 26. 6 months later, after Elizabeth was to bear a child, the arch-alien Gabriel was sent to a woman who had had no male. Yo, Mary. How about you get this alien? Ancient Alien gets wild at time. But yeah, Da Vinci is definitely one for me.
Dedicating this to him, and so I think it's only fair that I gotta pour one out because he is the man behind the legend here. Let me write down my rules while my handwriting is still legible. All right, I think I'm ready. My drink of choice is this mysterious, completely unlabeled bottle. I have no idea what it is, but it came to me in a dream, and when I woke up in the morning, it was
I guess I have to deal with water and coffee.
Sink. This is a cider that was brewed by one of my buddies who does ciders with varietals of apple that they would have grown in like colonial era New England. So this is a pretty close parallel to what our founding fathers would have drank. If they could see me now, how horrified they would be at pretty much everything. But
you'll have better teeth than they did. That's something for sure.
It will be our drink of choice for this. As you also may be aware, for anyone
cider
who has made or drank homebrewed alcohol, who fucking knows what it's
yes.
gonna do? Maybe it's water, maybe it's absinthe. There's really only one.
Maybe it's 5%, maybe it's 20, maybe it's that good old corn liquor right there. I'll have you have that in a second. Yeah, homebrewed can never be trusted, truly.
One way to find out. So I could finish this video completely fine, or I may not be able to finish this video at all. And
okay.
You will hear sirens. Wow, the founding fathers must have had some weird tastes, or really bad breath, rather. Okay, what the fuck are we doing here? What is this even streaming on? Where do we
Fun fact about year-old teeth. In that era, tooth powder were homemade and contained anything from alum, ground eggshells. I mean, it's not like the first one was any better. But brimstone to even tobacco ashes, which would clear out bits of food but not prevent tooth decay. No shit. I mean, they didn't go with the good old charcoal, did they? That clears off stains. Yeah, good old methods that was passed on to me by my grandparents. But yeah, they have bad teeth, and because it's a Black History Month, I kind of want to dive into that part where some of the founding fathers would rip out the teeth of slaves and use them for their own. But let's get into that one. Jesus.
Watch Ancient Aliens. You can find it on People. You can find it on Squeeble. You can find it on Grobus, but only if you have a Plingle subscription. Apple TV. Okay. So, something that I didn't know is that there are, like, fucking 7 different Ancient Aliens series. There's Ancient Aliens, like, Lost in New York, I don't know, and, like, Ancient Aliens, the Two Towers, or something like that. Ancient Aliens 4, The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. That works, actually, all too well. Now, from my brief peruse over the catalog, it seems as though Ancient Aliens is beginning to get to the point where it's really starting to run out of ideas, which is not shocking when the show has been running for 20-some-odd seasons. That's how I ended up finding Ancient Aliens Origins, which seems to be sort of like a boiled-down, like, hit list of the best points that they've made in the last 76 years of airing.
Wow. Can you imagine making so much content that the best thing that you actually can do is to provide remasters to the stuff that we already made? Holy shit.
This TV show. So I think we're gonna just kick it off with that, and we're gonna watch Ancient Aliens Origins, Season 1, Episode 1, Extraordinary Engineering.
Damn good coffee.
It's an hour and 23 minutes. I can't imagine how. And I'm gonna just go in completely blind, armed with a 5-rule drinking game and a bottle of alcohol that made George Washington's teeth fall out. Let's get right into it.
If this was still me in my university days, I would have had, like, a canister of coffee next to me right now, partaking in this drinking game. I'm gonna stick with water, but were that to be me, like, 8 years ago or something like that, you would have seen me collapsing right now from having an elevated heart rate, because holy shit, I get addicted to this stuff pretty quickly.
Why is this rated V for violence?
I'm like that kid from Encanto that just keeps on drinking coffee.
They're gonna beat the shit out of Giorgio Tsoukalos.
Ancient structures built with enormous stone blocks.
Oh,
solid granite cut with laser-like precision, and accounts of astounding technological capability.
I'm gonna say right off the bat, this is gonna be really hard, guys. The benefit that I have with all the pseudo-archaeology stuff that I do watch is that it's not edited like reality TV show, but this is, and that makes it a lot worse.
For nearly 2 decades, Ancient Aliens has traveled the globe.
Oh shit, does that count as Giorgio being on screen twice or once?
Drink it.
This is gonna be awful. I see why people warned about drinking when the aliens guy appeared.
Oh, by the way, as he stated there, if you're a person of age, okay, careful partaking in this. And of course, this is a Milo special kind of thing, so be careful. And if you are like me, just drink water instead.
I'll do that once.
Towering megalithic structures, mysterious artifacts.
There's the man.
Eric, woo, drink.
In a quest for evidence that might reveal the truth of our extraterrestrial origins.
Hey,
Yo, we got the Daryl light.
light.
Honestly, drink if there's something that was in an episode of Awful Archaeology.
How cool is it to be able to look back 10, 11, 15 years ago of Ancient Aliens?
Hey, George.
We now have about 300 hours worth of content.
Yeah, it just goes to show you how much evidence there is for ancient astronaut theory.
And here we go. No. Just no.
Arrête, s'il te plaît. We're not even 10 minutes into the video and I'm already turning French. Mon Dieu. The abundance of nonsense is not equating to actual evidence, my dude. That's not how it works. Just like I brought up L. Ron Hubbard before, a man that has written so much nonsense, created an entire religion around his writing, and never wrote a second draft. Yet I don't think that some of you gentlemen are going to agree that he was right in what he was thinking. Oh, well, I guess perhaps some of them are actually going to agree with him, given some of the belief they hold. Oh, gosh. That's some happy science degree of nonsense. Like, oh my god, happy science. Oh, that's something that I ought to watch again. If you don't know, happy science is like a very weird Japanese cult, kind of operate in a similar manner, thinking about the extraterrestrial beings and comparing them to biblical creatures and injection from other religions and everything. They have made many animes and movies surrounding their religion, and they have one of my favorite clips of like, hello, I'm Helen Keller.
What?
Who's a fucking angel that travels across dimensions. No, like, shout out to Mother Spaceman. We need to check out the second part of the videos that he made. But the point is, numbers do not mean evidence.
It just goes to show how much bullshit I can speak. It just goes to show that I don't shut up. What is that? That's Ancient Aliens theory. Should I say that? I guess I should drink for that.
I look back over.
Oh my god, he has a fucking Tolima fighter jet pin. George is dripped, dude. Oh my god. That's actually fucking swag, dude. That is so cool.
We have to wonder how they could stack 100-ton stones.
And so does he.
Yeah, and
That guy also has a Tolima fighter jet pin. Why did this guy not get one? I mean, I guess he has
the
like,
beetle.
The like Egyptian scarab beetle necklace. That's cool. Maybe that's like a sign of status or something. The other guys haven't earned that yet.
Yeah, no, look, by now it's clear
That dripped the fuck out, to be honest.
Fine wine.
I hate to disagree, George. You've not aged like fine wine. You've aged
haven't
like
aged at
apple
all.
stock. The man is magnificent. He looks like he has spent a long time in high winds, and I respect that about him.
I mean, he looks happy. So that's one
We're
thing.
going back to 2010.
Sites and quarries. Without such equipment, builders could never construct modern skyscrapers.
Oh no.
Yet thousands of years ago, ancient civilizations were accomplishing the same work while constructing their monuments and temples using massive stones.
Why do they keep on making this argument? This to me always comes as if we're dealing with individuals who have not worked a day doing physical labor at all. Dude, we live at a farm, so occasionally I tend to do manual labor. And I gotta tell people, these calluses mostly come from me working out, but still, I want this type of people to show me their hands. I want to see them having actually worked some time and trying to lift heavy objects, because this is just lazy. This is lazy.
I don't know if I would phrase it like that. The same work is not the same work. They're very impressive, but they are not skyscrapers. So already a bad parallel, but I'm sure that that's going to be the only time that happens in this episode.
Right.
Did they cut these massive stone blocks with hammers, chisels, and
Yes.
copper wire?
Yes.
As mainstream archaeologists suggest.
Mainstream archaeologists.
Lifted and transported them without a pulley system or the wheel? Or did
What? They did have the pulley system.
Or did ancient civilizations possess advanced technologies that have since been lost to science?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna do my. I say this every time I hear these people talk about, ancient high technology that's been lost to science, because I actually agree. I think that there is an ancient lost technology that ancient people have or had that helped them do this that we do not possess today. And that is the power of a well-organized and motivated community. If you put a large group of people with their mind to creating something magnificent to withstand the test of time and signify their civilization, they can literally move mountains. We don't have that now. So we still achieve some pretty amazing things, but we do it with we got our supply chain and our equipment and our, subcontractors and all that. And don't get me wrong, we make some amazing stuff, but you gotta remember that when you were building these pyramids, it was like a monument to a god on earth. Like, you could pretty much do anything with a labor force motivated by something like that and just enough of them. So
Also, like, not to be disrespectful to my own neighbors, but we have farmers living next to us, right? Who actually have acres of land where they are harvesting every few months. Not so much at the moment because of the cold. But when, let's change the name here, Jim Bob, he's sitting on his machine there harvesting, he's a single person doing that to his entire crop. Whereas, in the good old days, you will have Mamadous just standing there with a sickle, just cutting the chaff out of the wheat of whatever. And I don't know why I used the name Mamadou, perhaps because I just saw footage of Egypt. But they had the strength of numbers to do that in the past. That's just logical.
I don't know. That's the ancient lost technology. Big shock.
Or go to a non-first world country and witness the same job being done but by a multitude of people. Like, that's literally my grandparents. They have acres of land and they're still doing that manually with their grandchildren. That used to be me. We did that during vacation. Like, again, gosh, these people have never worked in their lives.
They're not lasers.
At Giza, you just don't have the pyramids. Linked to the pyramids are what Egyptologists call valley temples. It doesn't take a rocket engineer that when you go
God,
there.
that dripped
Why are
out.
the people in this tripped out? Who's this dude with the fucking fancy watch and the cardigan?
scarf.
And the scarf, a corduroy jacket? God damn, Robert. Drink every time one of these guys is
Okay,
the
come
fuck
on.
up.
Whereas the pyramids are built with blocks of 2 to 3 tons. These temples, which are minute compared to the pyramids, are built with blocks of 100 tons. Why would they want to use 100-ton blocks?
It's like, okay, let's do something, but let's do it as difficult as we could possibly do it.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's the
That's the whole
explanation,
mark of
right? No,
humanity.
that's what people do. That's like our whole thing. There's the quote about, I don't know, going to the moon. We're going to the moon not because it's easy, but because it's hard. We could have just not gone to the moon. It would have been way easier than going to the moon, but we did it because that's what's driven our little monkey brains from, hitting rocks against each other to, streaming ancient aliens on people with a Google subscription.
I mean, come on, that's literally all we do. Like, there are certainly a lot of ancient stuff that are not quite springing out to mind right now that if I were to look into it, that I could bring forth here. But in more recent history, think of an individual like Henry VIII. A king who had the Tower of London, also known as the Tower of Menagerie, sent to him the weirdest stuff that he commandeered people to make for him. Like, being extra is what people do.
There's a lot of things that are done now that are done a lot more practically because, we have a society that functions differently, but like, you can find examples of people doing things that are really hard for pretty much no reason. All all over the place. It's not that uncommon.
Yeah,
It's
because
kind
I've
of
seen
the way
him
that our
do something
brains
like
work.
that before.
The
That's
reason
good.
why I am convinced
Hey, George.
that sophisticated technology was utilized in these ancient rocks is because if we go to a stone quarry today and look at the scope of machinery required to accomplish similar things, those machines are huge.
Yeah. You can exactly pinpoint what it is that Milo's mind exploded. That's literally a Philip Zigbar quote. And that's also why Milo pointed out that Philip and a lot of conspiracy theories in his ilk are not thinking of anything new. They're just regurgitating the same points over and over again.
Yeah, and if you went back in time to look at the way that a wheat field was worked and you saw 1,000 people out there threshing it by hand, that doesn't look nearly as impressive as a modern combine going through a field, even though there's only one guy working that. It's because we've refined our efficiency and our technology. When you have a lot of people to throw at something, you can make that thing happen. Like, I don't know how to make that more clear. It's great to have all this technology now because you don't need as many people to do it. So that makes sense. We've accounted for less people working one job with equipment that is capable of doing the work of more people.
From what I have actually gathered over the years is information that seems to actually argue against that notion that they had simple tools.
What he found.
Think of it. Now, this is not a well-crafted argument at all, but come to think of it, in the future, I would imagine that some people are going to make the same theories with regard to the utilization of AI. And in all fairness, not to be bashing the work of, the industrialization that we've had to adjust to, so to create stuff and elevate the standards of living for many people. But that has come with a detriment. The quality of the stuff that we own is not as good. Like if you can see it behind me right now, this is a handcrafted sofa. This, okay, not to brag, this shit is expansive. This is not something that you're going to...
Okay, Moment, geht mal wieder nicht. Ist gut schwarz, ich muss aber kurz hier gucken. Die automatische Quick Save Mod verbuggt das ganze Gameplay.
Get an IKEA or whatever, or the store where you might be buying cheap furniture. But this thing is 30 years old and handcrafted, and the reason as to why I have it in the office and not in our home is because we just didn't have the place for it. But my argument is that I imagine that some in the future are going to make a similar case to the utilization of AI with regards to, oh no, people couldn't possibly have made some magnificent art by hand, because animating a show, making a composition, that would have taken way too long time, and for a single individual to do that, well, we can, and we do. So yeah, I just imagine that future generations are going not just to have to go through a massive inventory of documentation to justify how our time was messed up, but also have to counter a lot more misinformation with a lot more conspiracy theories with the way that current technology is being utilized.
Has proved to be both revolutionary and controversial.
I'll drink for controversial.
If you look at the Giza Plateau, they have to have had somebody on site who's saying, okay, I need a block this size, and then getting a block to them that size, stat, like immediately.
Wait, what? I feel like a lot of these people have just never worked a day of actual, like, labor in their life. Or never met. Like, there's supply chains for this shit. One, I don't think every block was, like, millimeter cut to order to fit in.
There's a degree of standardization.
And two, That's just like, that would be up to someone in a supply chain. They're standardizing the size of the blocks. The blocks come in. Maybe there's a place where all the blocks arrive. They measure all of them. They figure out where all of them are going to go if there's discrepancies in size. The fact that this guy is, hi Lupin's ass, how's that? Is that nice? Thank you. It's just crazy to me that a guy can be like, I don't really get how the supply chain worked for a construction project, and therefore it must have been aliens.
While searching several miles north of Giza at Abu Ruwash, Dunn stumbled upon a clue when he spotted a granite block containing a deep cut.
The only way that they could have actually cut that thing was with a saw that was 35 feet in diameter.
The idea that ancient Egyptians used giant saws provoked much resistance from mainstream archaeologists.
Mainstream archaeologists.
Was convinced.
As an ex-machinist, I look for tool marks. I look for them everywhere I go. And I could be
He's an ex-machinist. Oh gosh.
accused of, well, you know, if you're going to look for something, you're probably going to find it because you're looking at it through a certain filter. Accepted, I agree.
That was a very poor explanation of that. I don't know what we were supposed to be looking at that was a machine mark. That was like a guy saying that a thing was cut with a giant circular saw and kind of just, that was it. I didn't get any actual display of how that conclusion was drawn. I assume it's because it was slightly curved, so the implication is that it was like going into a giant wheel. A giant wheel is kind of interesting, though. I mean, other, cultures have used water power to power enormous, wheels and things. It would be very hard to push a stone into a wheel, and I would imagine that the cutting power you get from a wheel would probably be even less than the power you can get off a large hand tool with people putting their backs into it. But I don't know. And I guess that's the whole point, because they kind of just plant a seed of like, hey, here's this thing, which is weird because I'm telling you it's weird, and the only explanation could possibly be this. Why? Not going to tell you. Let's move on to the next one.
And that's the funny thing, because you are going to be able to find it in another location, some other people who have something similar that they actually document, but they never bring this up. Because think of ancient Greece, right? Archimedes. What did he make? The Archimedes screw, right? Using water power that Milo just mentioned to turn wheels. Like, do these people read? Do a little bit of research.
There seems to be an impression
like it's not Egypt, but still.
Amun's buttock, where it meets the bench, where there is an undercut. It was the slip of a tool. And
by
therefore,
Amun's
it must have been a
ass.
tool that was quite efficient.
What? You couldn't have got a closer fucking picture of the thing you're talking about? They put like a YouTube arrow just pointing at his thigh, and they're like, yeah, you see this? That's evidence of ancient lost high technology.
Dunn also believes that the large depressions in the ground at Giza are not boat pits, as is claimed by mainstream archaeologists.
Mainstream archaeologists.
Sediment.
That were actually used to hold the 35-foot saws.
And that they ran the blocks through the saws before they put them in the Great Pyramid.
Okay, being totally for real, that's very cool. I don't know, I'm not saying whether or not I believe it, but at least it is something that is founded in like some form of reality. He is explaining something that people could reasonably create. It's big, but they're building pyramids, so I'm not surprised by that. He's not saying like lasers. So I don't know if I buy that. This might be some poor bastard that just got roped into ancient aliens because he has a theory that's slightly different than the mainstream paradigm. But I think that's kind of cool. And actually does give some credit to Egyptians and is a neat theory for cutting of the stones. That one gets one thumbs up from Milo.
The three largest man-made stones in the world are found at the Temple of Jupiter at Baalbek in Lebanon. A nearby quarry contains an even bigger stone, known as the Stone of the Pregnant Woman. This giant rectangular block weighs an incredible 1,200 tons. To move it today would take the strength of 21 heavy lift cranes.
All right, Few things there. Baalbek, always talked about in a lot of the pseudo-archaeology world, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I have a great explanation of it. That's part of it. But it doesn't really matter that we don't know the exact means that they used to move it, because the one thing we know for sure is that they moved it. It is there. There's evidence that it was moved. So clearly they had something. And that's where kind of the question mark comes in. And it's fine to speculate about that question mark because we're trying to get to the bottom of it and we all want the same answer. But Occam's fucking razor. Like, we know how Michelangelo carved the statue of David, but if I was in like a post-apocalyptic world and I found that, I would think that we need like, you know, some insane lost technology to do it when we know the files and sand grits and shit like that that he used to create something so magnificent. So yeah,
no. Michelangelo had a 3D printer.
No match is found in data.
He had one of those that are being used now to construct houses.
Obviously a lot of ingenuity and engineering that went into moving these things that has been lost. But that does not mean that the most logical explanation is fucking aliens. Pseudoscience people also always go to this whole, like, moving massive rocks with modern technology and stuff like that. They always talk about how many cranes you would need to lift it. And I don't know if that's intentionally deceitful or not, because the worst possible way to move a heavy stone is by lifting it. Imagine you're making a patio or something and you got like 20 bags of fucking Quikrete, and each one of those things is pretty heavy. Think about which one would be easier, picking up the bags and carrying them over, or you and a buddy put like a ratchet strap around the bottom of the pallet and just drag the thing across the yard. Yeah, I get it would get caught in the dirt and the grass and stuff, but my point is, it is way more efficient to drag an enormous weight than lift it off the ground. That's the weird thing that they always say with the pure...
And they have ways of dealing with the friction. Either put some rollers onto it, put something underneath to minimize the friction, sand, dirt, create a path. And or in the cases where you actually want to build something that is massive, that needs actual support, carve it into a bloody massive stone or a cliffside. People have done this.
Where they're like, how did they lift the Queen's Chamber stone? It's like 300 feet off the ground or whatever. It's like, well, they didn't lift it there. They built the pyramid up to that point and dragged that enormous stone up there like they did with everything else and put it on top.
We're supposed to accept the people who built the pyramid.
Damn it, he's dripped out. Drink.
The wheel did not have the pulley, did not have iron. In fact, they had nothing. With brutal
they had nothing.
Manpower and pieces of strings. The contact.
Oh my god. Do you hear yourself, bro? Holy shit. They were nothing. They just had brute manpower and pieces of strings. Yo, they built the pyramids, dog. Why do you have to be such a dick?
I hate the condescension of ancient people like that. It's not fair. Yeah, we have thousands of years of power and we have technology. I can call you now. Yeah, they used to train birds to send messages. What were those? Did they also need ancient technology to make that effort for communication? Or were people not just smart enough to recognize that animals aren't dumb? I don't know, man.
Prehistoric civilizations cut such intricately designed patterns in solid granite.
Oh no, the age.
Slowly. Next question.
Let's go.
Oh my god, Jesus, we're 10 minutes into this. Holy fuck.
Palm Springs, California. Master stonemason and
Bakersfield, California. Modesto, California. Nexus of ancient alien civilizations. Palm Springs, California. Landing site of the gay aliens.
Such as diamond-tipped wires and polishers enable him to fashion works of art out of huge granite blocks obtained from nearby quarries.
I already see where they're going with this, and the difference between what he's doing here and what ancient people did is that he can do it really fucking fast because he has power tools. You could do any of this with fucking manual labor if you took the time to learn how to do it and didn't have soft fucking hands.
Yet even with these high-tech tools, Hopkins cannot replicate what ancient civilizations accomplished thousands of years ago.
That is 100% bullshit. That is 100% bullshit. He could absolutely replicate what they did hundreds of years ago. Maybe he just really sucks at his job. I don't know.
The precision on some of the work that I've seen is just incredible. It's possible to do by hand, but
There you go. That's it. The guy that works with stone. Roger Hopkins, subtext stone sculptor, said it's possible to do by hand. Whatever the but that follows doesn't fucking matter because the people who built these structures didn't have power tools. They were master artisans and skilled craftspeople. No one has those skills today, not because it's like lost laser technology, but because we now have tools that have made those skills and those practices obsolete.
But it'd take an incredible amount of time. Plus, you have to have years of experience to be able to pull it off.
Yeah. Why are they debunking themselves?
Yes, that's literally what I'm saying, bro. Wow, I can't believe they even included that soundbite. Like, anyone listening to that, you know, should be able to immediately tell that it's like, well, then anything they say here is like beyond speculation.
In my opinion, the most tangible pieces of evidence that we have regarding possible extraterrestrial technology is when we look...
This is totally possible to do with hand tools. It would just take a really long time. What do you have to say to that, Giorgio?
My opinion.
Well, my opinion? Nah, I don't think so.
We ourselves today could not replicate what our ancestors allegedly accomplished with stonemasonry.
I don't know why they say that so much. That's got to go on like the bingo card too. We could not replicate today.
Puma Punku is a large temple complex located on a high plateau in Bolivia.
That's nice.
The people who lived here had neither a written language nor the wheel. Yet somehow, they built one of the world's most complex structures.
How did they do it with no profit incentive? I need a snack. Cookie.
Ancient alien theorists viewed Puma Punku.
There it is. Ancient alien theorists.
Schlägt gar nichts.
Ooh. Does not mix well with cookie.
But the fact that the stones as such are of such tremendous design that it requires concepts of mathematics which are far beyond anything we are actually using right now. Yet somehow in the past...
Author of the ancient alien question.
What about these rocks requires a knowledge of mathematics that we don't have now? Motherfucker, we have a telescope in space that can see the light of a galaxy warping around like its own gravity. I promise you that we can understand these fucking rocks, dude.
Dude, we've recently had pictures of an egg nebula 3,000 light years away from us. CRL 2688. It is majestic looking. These are the things that we can capture with our telescopes. I think that the fact that Milo just tapped into astrophysics here is something that actually triggers me so much, because obviously while ancient archaeology is one of the big areas where pseudoscience tend to propagate, my days have I seen actual reputable scientists straight up grifting into this side of the aisle when it comes to astrophysics. Oh, it's tiring.
Jesus.
Somebody has made that for a specific purpose, and in a way which even computer programs today would kind of go, how is this possible?
Computer
These
program.
rocks are so complicated, even a computer doesn't know how to do it. Have you ever, like, a CNC machine, a fucking CNC machine, like, they can machine, like, metal down to, like, fractions of a fucking millimeter with a computer. I saw this video once. Jesus, this is like hanging out with Milo at a bar. I saw this fucking video once where a guy had, like, machined, like, a hole through a piece, like, a metal cylinder, and made, like, another cylinder that fit inside it. It was all very exhilarating, honestly. But the point is, they were so perfectly machined that one could not be put inside the other because of the air pressure in them. Like, it was so perfectly cut that the air wouldn't be able to come out to let the rod drop into the hole, you know? So if you're telling me that we have technology that can do that bullshit for fun for some guy on fucking Instagram Reels, I promise you we could make those rocks. I got...
Just as a reminder for the many people who are watching this video right now, you are watching something likely either on a cellular device or a PC. A friend of mine called Magnus, whom I had the pleasure of having a visit from just before Christmas, is a hardware engineer. And he works with those bloody machines that create the graphics cards and the mini chips that you're utilizing for your devices. And with photolithography, he and his team are basically etching onto grains of sand and silicon pathways that create the transistors that you have in your devices today. It's bloody insane what we can achieve. I don't think that I need to go in any more depth about this. Pun intended. So the argument that computers can do is such fucking bullshit.
My cylinder stuck in a rock. It is imperative the cylinder remains unharmed.
Over 40 tons each. What can you tell us about this?
Boy, they had their stone cutting abilities, you know, pretty well fine-tuned for 5,000 years old.
They did.
It's almost unbelievable.
Almost. It's almost unbelievable. You know,
Doing
we call that pretty believable. That's another way of phrasing that. Glass half full kind of situation, you know?
I mean, it would be difficult for us with our equipment to get that kind of precision.
Difficult, but not impossible, I would imagine. Have you just gone to like a fucking garden center? You ever go to fucking Mahoney's Garden? Is that too regional? Is Mahoney's Garden nationwide? Fuck yeah. Brighton, Chelmsford, Concord, Falmouth, Osterville, Tewkesbury, Winchester. Never mind, that is a hyper-local analogy. Mahoney's Garden shout out. If you know, you know. Okay, Mahoney's or not, I'm sure you have a garden center nearby. You ever just like gone into the part where they have fucking bird baths and, you know, like little stone angels and shit like that? I mean, I guess a lot of those are made out of cement, but a lot of them are also carved. Again, I'm not like calling it easy. I don't have the skills to do it, but I would imagine that if your job is to cut stone with power tools, you could make this. Like, in the comments, if you're someone that's done stuff like this, tell me. Correct me if I'm wrong. Would it be hard to cut a stone with modern fucking equipment?
Nope. I can testify to this because I have a similar example. Right down our street, there is actually a garden shop like this, where at the entrance, next to the parking lot, there is a stone elephant that was carved by hand. My daughter likes to tap on that thing every single time. Actually, I have these. These are book stoppers that I have from, I brought back from Cameroon some years ago. Carved in wood, okay? Elephants. Because elephants have like a very huge symbolic in our family. That's actually my mom's family name. Junk is in Bassa, the language of our tribe. The idea is pretty freaking simple. People see this, they can carve it by hand, and they just see and make it in a bigger scale. Like, holy shit, you can do this.
That's their whole pitch here, that they had to have something on par with modern equipment to cut these stones. It shouldn't be hard to do with modern equipment either. It should be fucking easy. Rah!
Let's talk a little bit about inside boxes.
Ooh, I was afraid you were going to.
Inside boxes?
Now we're talking, George. Now we are. Let's talk a little bit about inside boxes. I need another drink for that, though. You gotta make it to the 15-minute mark before George starts telling you what you really want to know.
Use what they have, these computer-driven CNC machines, which have diamond tips, and you have a template that, you know, the computer follows, and even then, it may not come out as perfect.
What? That's even better! Also, why didn't they try and make that shape to demonstrate the difference?
I know.
Probably because this one would look, the CNC machine one would look a lot better. Or it's because it isn't possible.
Because even though you can tell that obviously this piece broke off, nowhere in here can you see any imperfection. It's like, and by the way, when you're there, if you go with your finger over...
I'm sorry. Look at the guy's face. You can't see an imperfection, and he stares back at Giorgio like, the fuck? What are you saying?
If you go with your finger over these edges and you put a little pressure on your fingertip, you can cut yourself. This is how sharp the edges are.
Wow.
I hate pulling the I don't believe it card, because that's what these guys do all the time, but I'm most of the way through this, so I think I can do it. George, I don't believe you. George, you're a liar, and you will spend an eternity on this ship. Like, I feel like you even need a particularly sharp knife to, like, push your finger onto it and cut yourself. Like, a dull blade you could put a decent amount of pressure on and not hurt yourself.
Don't do that. That's the right disclaimer. As a Japanese knife owner who hasn't sharpened his knife in what, 3 years since I got mine for birthday gift. Don't ever do that.
There actually are ancient Incan legends that suggest that they had the capability of softening the stone. At Sacsayhuaman, for example, we find these gigantic stone blocks, gigantic stone walls.
I love that he actually pronounces it correctly, which is also like one of the parts that I find to be a little bit of a shame, because these are clearly individuals who carry some kind of a love for these things, right? Like, you wouldn't be traveling across the world learning about these legends without having a certain level of enthusiasm about them. But the fact that enthusiasm then gets turned into like misinformation, it really sucks.
Been there, drink.
Where it looks as if those stones were molten, put into place, and then the stone hardened again.
Oh, that was good. That was a good pseudo-archaeology 1-2 punch. There's an ancient legend that says this, and it looks like. Are we gonna talk about, you know, chemically testing the rocks to see if there's any evidence of that? No, of course not. Because all we need to know is there's a legend that I've chosen to interpret in this way, and man, it really looks like it, and that's what I want to believe.
Several hundred miles north of Pumapunku, Machu Picchu sits high atop the Peruvian
Been there
Andes.
too, drink.
I can't help but think that whoever was behind this thought the process through from beginning to end. They didn't quarry the rock and then decide, how the heck are we going to transport this? They knew from beginning to end what needed to be done with whatever techniques and technology they were going to use, so that this was no big deal.
You should talk to that guy earlier who didn't understand supply chains. I have a feeling that this very meticulous city was planned from the beginning. Yeah, fucking probably, dog. What does that have to do with aliens?
Based on his experience, Mike Dunn believes the simplest way to build the Great Walls of Machu Picchu would have been to transport small rocks to the site, then melt them, and use molds to fashion the exact size and shape needed.
I'm glad that he thinks that. That's excellent. That's excellent for him. It's a lot less believable than the giant spinning saw. I feel like that is both cool and at least partly believable. The molten rock thing I don't highly believe, but I agree. That's a logical line of thought. If you had technology that could melt and cast stone, it would be a lot easier to transport a lot of little rocks than really large ones. So why don't you prove what sort of technology they use
to melt
do this?
Yeah.
The fundamental evidence, the foundational evidence wouldn't be, I think this. It would be, here is evidence of how this was possible and evidence that it was done here.
I have a stone torch, which I use for sometimes shaping granite. And I mean, it generates a temperature of in excess of 3,000 degrees. 3,000 degrees. That's a lot.
I really feel like the stonemason guy is someone that they interviewed and they just took all of his sound bites really out of context.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't sound like he's actually arguing for this. It sounds like that was an indignant response of him being like, dude, do you have any idea how much energy that would take? And they clipped it and put it in such a way that it sounds like he's saying,
he's supporting
and it's
us.
Amazing they could generate that much energy.
There's only two.
I kind of wonder, just like there's this thing called the Discovery Institute, that is like a Christian-backed organization that also wants to debunk science. Yep, you heard that right. But they do this quite a lot with like weird street interviews where they are clipping off people's answers and trying to stitch them as if they are actually wanting to admit that people are immoral and or just bad by default, and thus if they do not rely on biblical teachings that they can't form themselves a moral compass. And I really wonder if you're an individual who finds your likeness being put in a clip like this, that you may not have consented to and or has been manipulated. I wouldn't go so far as to say that you should do it. At least contact the network and tell them not to have your likeness onto it. Perhaps these man did sign a contract, but you could sue.
Two possibilities that either God did it, which we really don't think happened.
I mentioned... I guess God works in mysterious ways. Let me fill my water bottle for a moment. Oh my God.
Oh, whoa, curveball.
Some high-tech civilization from another planet came and showed them how to do it. Then took their materials and tools and went back.
That is the same shit, bro. That's like the same shit.
None of these ancient monuments that were constructed or manufactured by extraterrestrials. It was us, humans, who built it with extraterrestrial technology.
It's entirely fun. I love when every time they've shown the Puma Puku, you can watch it on Puma Puku with a People subscription. Every time they've shown the Puma Puku stones, since Giorgio said the thing about pressing on it too hard and cutting yourself, I've been looking at the edges and it's just killing me every time. That looks like it would be actually quite pleasant to rub yourself on.
There must have been thousands of ancient structures made of
Drips
mud.
out,
Oh,
old
we're
man.
back in the studio. Fucking 20-minute mark. Good Lord.
But when you build with stone, that's
It's
pretty
going to be
ancient.
nice for my liver.
And stone is much harder
Ton
to
of
work
water.
with, build structures, especially megalithic.
Stone is much
Oxygen
harder to
production
work with.
offline.
Goddamn, bro. Take it easy. Guy can't spend fucking 10 minutes in a room with Giorgio Tsoukalos without thrusting a little, you know?
Were transported in many cases from miles and miles away.
Yeah, and that is one of the smoking guns of the ancient astronaut theory. Transportation and also the stonework.
If I don't know how I'm going to be editing this video, if I'm going straight up for a lot of the laughter that I tend to do. Perhaps if I have if I'm not too tired when editing this. But remember that good old clip that I showed you of a video game rendition of how these things used to be done? Egypt transporting things from a quarry all the way over to a harbor, loading it on top of ships, sailing across the Nile to the actual location where they then will assemble the pyramids. Like, come on, man. They knew that this was hard work, but it created jobs. Some people were paid who weren't actual total slaves, and they fucking knew what they were doing.
I mean, some of the stonework is so perfect, you can't even put a dollar bill in between the fittings.
Stop.
He said the thing. I go to that wall in my garden. You can't even fit a debit card between it. It's crazy how all the rocks aren't slightly levitating off of each other. What the fuck? Give me fucking something. We're doing prop comedy now, bitches. Okay, if anyone ever asks you, can I have $1?
Can I have $1?
$20. $20 probably won't fit between it though, because it's bigger. If anyone ever asks you, dude, why do you keep all those bricks in your kitchen? Show them this video. See, it comes in handy sometimes, guys. All right, Giorgio, you fucking smart ass. Let's have a look at this. We got 2 bricks stacked on top of each other. Can you fit $1 between them? Fuck. You can't fit a fucking $1 between them because they're stacked on top of each other. I'll keep trying. I swear to God, I'm not just trying to make this difficult. Like, look. Oh, I can get a little under there. And then watch. Cool. Now it's fucking stuck because they're fucking bricks stacked on top of each other. The other one people always say is a credit card. Honey, I swear I'm not gonna fuck up one of your cards. So you go and you fit a fucking... Well, fucking no shit, you can't fit a credit card between them. Why would you be able to fit a credit card between them? Guys, I don't say this lightly. Atlantis. I know. I already see the chat blowing up. Chill the fuck out for a second. I'm walking closer to the camera. That's how you know this is serious. So I wanted to give a little update here, and that is that I'm working on it, and I have finally some updates coming. I see you guys asking about it constantly.
Yeah, the Atlantis question has slowly become its own little conspiracy theory. But a fun and harmless one.
Correction, I can't miss you guys asking about it constantly. And believe me, there's no one on Earth who wants to get that video done more than myself. Because I love Awful Archaeology. It is my favorite series I've ever done, and I want nothing more than to get back to actually making it. But I dug my grave. I'm gonna fucking lie in it. I am not doing another episode until Atlantis is done. So I am finally putting together my schedule for how Atlantis is going to come out and the exact details so that you guys actually have something to go on. I'm still formulating it because I don't want to make more promises I can't fucking keep. But to give myself enough time, I decided I'm going to tie in the announcement for what's happening with Atlantis with this year's episode of the Uncut Vermont podcast, the annual April Fool's video. So get ready for that. Mark your calendars. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. In the meantime, since I'm sure we've all been missing Awful Archaeology, I want to show you something that is very, very nice. Check this out. How do you hold a poster open?
Oh, cool.
Check that out. We got a fucking Awful Archaeology poster, baby. You guys know I absolutely love the style of like old maps and like infographics and things like that. And so we decided to do this in kind of the style of like a 50s classroom educational poster, one of those cool like screen print things. And this is every single artifact that we've talked about in Awful Archaeology so far. Each one contains a little blurb written by yours truly, explaining a little bit about what it is, as well as hand-done illustrations by my wonderful partner Zabosky. It's got all your favorite or least favorite things that we've talked about, as well as a little Easter egg hidden in there that some of you may find, and is available now on the shop, miniminutman.com, or in the description. As all of you know, I don't do any sponsorships on this channel, which is stupid of me because an account of my size could be raking in literally like tens of thousands of dollars off of shelling out to some fucking VPN company. But frankly, you guys know my convictions, and I would never be able to live with myself if I did that. So I understand we still have to make our bag, and so I want to do that by putting beautiful things out into the world that you guys will appreciate, instead of shelling out for some evil corporate overlords. The proceeds of all of the merch go to keeping the channel running, paying the team, and a percentage cut even goes to the artist that created it, as part of my pledge to work with artists in a world where, you know, art is valued less now than ever. Oh, I totally forgot. Awful Archaeology stickers as well. I already took a couple of these off, as you can see, but I put them on my water bottle. We got the Dendera light on there. Everyone also always talks about that sticker, which I see why it's the best sticker I have. We got the little Old Away Man up there. Yeah. Look at that, two skulls next to each other. Awesome. Love the Offspring. So if you want to support the channel and get some cool swag to decorate your apartment, your house, or your water bottle, then click on that there link in the description. Go ahead, do it right now so that you don't forget later. It'll be open in another tab when you're...
Yeah, with how 2A is being threatened. Yeah, that might be a necessity.
Done watching this video. I'm waiting. Thank you all again for your support. It means the world to me and helps us do what we do here. And again, April 1st, there's going to be info about what the fuck is happening with Atlantis. So stay tuned. Okay, back to it.
The Inca established their capital city of Cusco, which thrived for over 300 years at an elevation of more than 12,000 feet. Looms the ancient fortress of Sacsayhuaman.
Drink, I've been there.
Whose immense stone walls may hold secrets which predate the Inca themselves.
My feeling, very strong feeling, is that we're looking at a
Oh my god. Graham D. Hancock.
Und das Ding ist weg.
Everybody gets whiplash when they see his face.
Look who it is! It's Grandma! Oh, Papa made an appearance. I mean, this is gospel. Fuck. What? Why am I even looking into any of this? I didn't know that it had his endorsement. They should have just fucking said that at the beginning. Fuck? Man, you know what that is? That's a finish your drink. Horse. Oh, fuck. Oh, it's making the Graham Hancock in the room feel a little better. New rule. Graham Hancock agrees.
Like, what the fuck?
Graham Hancock appears, finish your drink, open another drink, finish that one too.
Oh, shit.
Author, Underworld, the mysterious origins of civilization.
Author, Horsecock.
Author, Horsecock.
Nope, ich gebe noch.
According to conventional archaeology,
that's mainstream enough.
Culture built the older sections of the site approximately 1,000 years ago. But the Inca themselves believed the site was constructed by an earlier unnamed race of people.
Oh, ich bin direkt gefangen.
By a powerful god who descended.
Hey, yo, we got the unnamed race of people. It wasn't just a different group, it was a
No,
different
not
race.
named.
A more civilized white race, potentially.
Oh,
From the stars. Ah, Jesus
Sprechen.
Christ.
Es geht.
They didn't actually say white. I'm putting words in their mouth. That always weirds me out, though, whenever they go race. Like, you didn't have to phrase it like that. You could just say a different group, another civilization, another culture.
Throughout time, there has been witness to a god named Viracocha that visited the South American people and blessed them and gave them all types of technology and
Oh, so we're believing in God now. Okay, heathens. Jesus, who is this guy?
some of his physical characteristics make him stand out from
You
the
just need to
indigenous
drink it.
population because he was a very
Jason Martell, if you do not know this guy, is one of those individuals who never truly got that big of a foothold within the pseudo science territory, but he firmly believed in aliens. So you would have seen him many times on Ancient Aliens. You actually got to watch the show.
Oh,
and
come on.
also, he's one of those individuals who has taken upon himself to dive through the translations of biblical scripture, as an example. So to justify that the writings are not talking about anything that is... and this is the part I guess fun, supernatural within theological context. So we're not talking about heaven, we're not talking about actual angels. No, we're talking about the sky, and we're talking about aliens.
Looking at the Sumerian information, they have paralleled many of the biblical tales from the Noah's Ark, the Adam and Eve. Many of these tales are found in a Sumerian version, in stone, unchanged, telling the exact same story as the English version, but it's in stone, thousands of years older. So some of the things that they also show, again, were the interaction with their living gods, the Anunnaki. Just like we see in the Bible, interaction with angels.
This guy is weird, but in another kind of weird.
tall, pale-skinned, white-haired being.
They didn't actually say white. I'm putting words in their mouth.
His name was Ben, and he was from Colorado.
Yeah. His name was Ben, and he was a bud tender from Boulder. His name.
Ben, and he's opening a brewery in Boulder, Colorado.
His name was Ben, and he's in an open relationship. His name
True.
is Ben, and he wants to know if you'll join his polycule. Where the fuck is my cat? Let me smell you. Why won't you let me smell
Schminky.
you? No one ever lets me smell them anymore. Come here, Schminky. We're learning about the lost white civilizing race.
But did this god Viracocha actually exist? Could he have been as ancient?
Dude, these jokes just write themselves. I was like, here I am, I'm gonna Mystery Science Theater an episode of fucking Ancient Aliens, and they're funnier than I am. God damn it.
As ancient astronaut theorists suggest,
Hey, yo, drink.
a visitor from an alien world? If so, it might help to explain just how the ancient site was constructed.
It takes about 10 to 20 men to move a one-ton rock. So when you're talking hundreds of tons, you're talking thousands of men.
There you go. Looks like we got it, guys. Fucking figured it out. There's this interesting video I saw a little while ago of, I think it was, like the Ohio State Highway Department or something like that, building a new highway overpass bridge. And what they did was they built the entire bridge span next to
als wäre ich wieder hier. Wieder hier. So. Ich kann wieder grinden und irgendwie versuchen. Ach, was soll's.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Oh, mein Poster ist weg. Egal. Ich kann es mir jederzeit neu craften, wenn ich es haben möchte. So, alles weg. Vielleicht kann ich an Stufe 2 arbeiten. Sollte man vielleicht dran arbeiten, die Aurora mal zu reparieren. Da kann ich arbeiten. Habe ich denn noch mein hohles Gerät? Ziemlich ist dann. Könnte es ja mal ein Put sein. Kann ja auch sein. Nee, ist es nicht. Okay, shit. Dann eben kurz craften. Dauern soll. Nicht so lange dauern soll es nicht. Auch nicht viel. Oh, ist nicht viel. Ist das und eine Batterie. Batterie besteht aus Kupfer und. Obwohl ich kann die Batterie benutzen nicht haben. Kupfer nicht. Und Silber noch. So. Hab ich jetzt. Packe ich zu 3. Diesmal versuche ich hier zu speichern. Ja, hier kein Problem. Auf der Insel? Nö. Also sag was mit der Insel.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Aber ich hasse immer die Fahrt so rein. Und irgendwie lädt das hier nicht. Das ist ja Grund. Mal kurz neu. 1 Stunde 7. Da bin ich stehen geblieben. Falls das nicht.
Hundreds of tons. You're talking thousands of men.
There you go. Looks like we got it, guys. Fucking figured it out. There's this interesting video I saw a little while ago of, I think it was, you know, like the Ohio State Highway Department or something
Utah.
like that, building a new highway overpass bridge. And what they did was they built the entire bridge span next to the existing bridge, and then in one night, they demolished the old bridge and slid the new bridge into place to reduce the amount of time the bridge had to be closed for. And the way that they did that was not only with machinery, but by literally lubricating the ground with Dawn dish soap to decrease friction and make the giant bridge span move a lot quicker. They needed a lot less energy for it. And that's one of the theories that I heard when I was in Peru about how they move these giant stones.
Lubrication.
Where obviously you could brute force one of these things with a few thousand people, and I'm sure they did use a few thousand people, but the Incans used llama fat all over the place.
Of
they used
course.
llama fat mixed with dirt as sort of like the mortar between the stones at Ollantaytambo. If you run your finger between it and go like this, you can still feel like the oil on your fingers. And like any fat, it's slippery. So one of the theories is that what they would do is they would get fats and oils and things like that and literally like lubricate the grass and the ground in front of where these stones were. They were still immensely heavy, and you needed thousands of people to move them. But if you can reduce the friction between a massive object and the surface it's sliding across, it's a lot easier. It's a work smarter, not harder. So it's a really good example of an actual potential lost technology. Something like that would not really leave any actual evidence behind, other than maybe a spoken memory, which is long lost. Not brought to them by aliens, not brought to them by a fucking white blonde guy from the sky, but learned themselves because they were fucking adapted to their environment.
Talk about granite, you're talking about a composition of feldspar, mica, and quartz. So you need diamond to actually braid it or cut it. We would use diamond.
We would use diamond, you know? That's the only way you could do it, really, is with diamond. You can cut something with something of the same fucking hardness. That's how they did it in Egypt. The copper functioned like paper in sandpaper. The paper is just a structure that is used to rub the aggregate onto the material, and that does the cutting.
Together with blocks of stone weighing 50 or 100 tons.
Graham's back. Drink.
Cut and shaped like...
This is also kind of crazy, because Graham Hancock does so much work to try and separate himself from ancient aliens theory. Like, he desperately wants people to not think that he believes in ancient aliens. And I don't necessarily think that he does. I'm not arguing for that. But it's crazy that he's been on episodes of Ancient Aliens. I feel like if it wasn't something that you at least somewhat subscribe to, you probably wouldn't go on it. But actually, that's not entirely true. They've got...
And therefore, he made a Netflix series called Ancient Apocalypse.
Got real archaeologists on it because they chopped them out of context. Either way, weird that Graham's on here.
If you look at the style the Sacsayhuaman wall was built, the blocks look as if they've been molded like putty.
Looks like...
If you can mold stone into place, then all of a sudden, as crazy as this sounds,
George,
it makes more sense because there is no mortar that has been used.
The Andes is the longest mountain range in the world. And that's because there's a fault where everything is crushing together and it's pushing the Andes Mountains up. And with that comes massive tectonic activity where things are breaking and moving and shaking and breaking. And so the Incans and every other culture that's lived in this area knew that. And so mortar really is only so effective. You can only use it in some small places. I mentioned the mortar earlier for the Ollantaytambo terraces, and those terraces were just farming terraces. There wasn't like homes on them or anything, so it wasn't super important. But if you use mortar as a key part of your construction, it runs the risk of falling apart in an earthquake. So these giant stones are a very elaborate it's really impressive and really cool. And the reason they don't have mortar is because they don't fucking need mortar. And mortar doesn't work in this environment. It's people that have become adapted to this place over literally thousands of years.
According to local legend, a bird was responsible for the seamless construction.
According to local legend, a bird. So the bird was responsible for the construction. But let me guess, because the bird is flying, that means it's those primitive savages' way of viewing an alien spaceship.
The winged creature carried a powerful chemical in its beak.
Napalm.
A substance capable of melting stone.
Oh no. That's Transformers. I just realized that Transformers Rise of the Beast got that bloody bird former that because they're going to fucking Peru.
The winged creature carried a powerful chemical in its beak.
Napalm.
A substance.
This is how Michael Bay keeps on giving Roland Emmerich a run for his money.
Sacsayhuaman means the head of the falcon, falcon's head.
Yeah.
But maybe it was some father?
Oh, I can't take the fucking pan flute music seriously. Like, I get it, okay? If I made, like, a video in a certain part of the world, I would probably try and use music from the area. But, I don't know, in Ancient Aliens, it just has a bit of a... It's got a weird vibe to it. It's got a weird vibe to it, you know?
Or maybe some bird people who could connect with the place.
But is it possible
The eagle!
that the mythical bird might actually have been a spacecraft?
There it is! He said the thing!
Visitors, known to the locals as Space Brothers.
Believe it or not, my academic research is not coming from the bottom of this bottle, so don't take this as scripture. But I'm not entirely sure how we know the dates of, you know, the Incan imperial style found at Ollantaytambo or at Sacsayhuaman and stuff like that. I trust it is in line with the Incan timeline. We can look into that. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, that those Incan imperial stones that you see at Sacsayhuaman are actually something that was built from a previous culture, a previous race. That just means that whatever group that was had the technology to do it. And therefore, it would make a lot of sense that the Incans would look upon that construction just like Giorgio would and be like, wow, how the hell did they do that? And so they probably also would have come up with their own theories, which are literally exactly what they are doing here. These Ancient Aliens folks really crack me up because they think they're at like the pinnacle of civilization where like, with all that we've discovered today, the conclusions we're drawing here are founded in some sort of reality. But it's like, dude, for as long as humanity has existed, we have been attributing things we don't understand to fucking gods and, you know, beings from the stars and supernaturalia of, you know, varying degrees. So it's really funny to think that if the Incans truly didn't build those things, they made their own oral history to explain it, and then, you know, Ancient Aliens theorists today quote it as though it's scripture. When
yeah, that's literally one of the things that I have sometimes used as an example to kind of reach more religious people with scientific explanation. At least those who do not believe that they can have some of their beliefs, yet at the same time accept conventional science. And a simple thought process is that perhaps religion could have been the way that we actually tried to explain our first attempt at science in the first place, because we were observing the world and trying to attribute it a bunch of things that made sense to us at the time. And because it was our first attempt, it was also the worst. And everybody and every region, no matter what people it is, are going to go to these steps and inevitably fail until they get it right.
really it's just two groups of people that didn't know how it was done. That's very bizarre.
I don't discount human ingenuity, but that type of engineering that we still can't duplicate today must raise a flag for further consideration.
We still can't do it today, guys.
Extraterrestrial in a sense. Someone had to have taught them these techniques.
All right, guys, pop quiz. I want you to imagine you've been teleported back in time to this site, and you have to recreate those walls. How do you do it? Here's how I would do it. I would use clay, and I would make a model, and I would do it on the ground. I don't know how big, but I would make all of the stones that I want. And then, because we clearly have a reasonable understanding of math and geometry, I would use all of the little stones that have already been measured and fit together in a malleable, easy way to scale up and make the big stones. Let's say an inch equals a foot or something like that. You could measure the base of the stone, it's 3 inches, so you know that's gonna be 3 feet. And then the top of the stone is 12 inches, so that's gonna be 12 feet. And
like literally, just like this. If you go to, I believe it's called Phnom Penh, there's like a mountain range in Cambodia, where at top of it, there is something called the Elephant Pond. You are going to find large structures of elephants, like massive stone elephants that are lying there. I also believe that that is where the largest stone Buddha of Cambodia is located. And that's what people just did. They had a small thing, and they scaled it up. It's not a surprise to have.
Use that as a model with measurements to cut the stones to shape. And then when you assemble all of it, you have the fucking thing exactly like you made it in clay, a malleable substance. It wasn't like they just went into this and were like, I don't know, cut a stone with a weird shape and then we'll just kind of look at it and see if we can find something that fits in. Like, Oh my god. There is a way to do this smarter, not harder. And they're just not, like, it's just not clicking with you that I'm standing on business.
There is no other place like Puma Punku.
It's interesting to see how those blocks fit together so perfectly in the past, but today, the blocks are scattered all over that location.
Yeah, but even in ruin...
Yeah, but back in the day, you couldn't have fit a dollar bill between them.
It is clear that that place was an incredible ancient piece of magnificent engineering.
It looks like complete shit now, but back in the day, I mean, it was probably put together so well it could only be explained with aliens.
Here, 45 miles west of La Paz, isolated high in the Andes Mountains, lie the mysterious ancient ruins of Puma Punku. Mainstream scientists believe the
Mainstream scientists.
The site was originally constructed about 2,000 years ago. But in 1945, archaeologist Arthur Poznansky proposed that Puma Punku was much, much older.
Who is Arthur
By
Poznansky?
examining the
This is called Google debunking, guys. You should give it a try sometime. Puma Punku. What?
Yeah, the alcohol is working.
Arthur Poznansky. How do you spell that shit? Ah, yes. He developed a hyperbolic narrative of Tiwanaku as the cradle of American man and tirelessly promoted it in Europe and the Americas. Like many pioneers, he was not trained as an archaeologist. His theories were based on little concrete information, but he defended them with invaluable passion. His theories were strongly influenced by intellectual trends he lived through and participated in, including racist anthropology. I mean, that sounds like he's the kind of guy who we should take as an authority figure in pretty much fucking everything.
And that's the thing. He was wearing that label. Archaeologist. And people who just thought about theories that are based in racism just were like, you know what? This is our guy.
By examining the structures and what he believed were their original alignment with the stars, he dated the ruins to 15,000 BC.
Dated by looking at their alignment with the stars. Graham Hancock, you don't have an original bone in your body. For anyone watching with no background in archaeology, you may be able to feel your hair stand up in the back of your neck when you hear stuff like that. And you'd be correct in assuming that dating something based on its alignment with the stars is complete bullshit.
Yeah, motherfuckers looking at constellations. Those things haven't moved in a while. I wonder why. They're so dumb.
Absolute bullshit. There is not a fucking lick of logic or scientific basis behind that. That is just not even. It's just not even. It's not even.
We have had some circumstantial dating, but we have been unable to date the stones of Puma Punku themselves. They could be thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years old. We don't know.
They could be thousands. They could be hundreds of thousands. Fuck it. They could be millions of years old. We don't know fucking anything. Scientists are stupid and it was all aliens. It is amazing the shit that they can get away with in these, like, pseudo-archaeology documentaries, just saying, like, I don't know, fucking might be. Like, yeah, I guess technically you're not wrong. It could have been built by aliens. It's just overwhelmingly unlikely that it wasn't. But when you phrase it like that, it makes your brain go like, well, it could have been built with, you know, thousands of people and a lot of energy, and it could have been built by aliens. Both of those theories have the same amount of weight behind them because they both could be.
How did these structures get built?
Oh, beautiful mustache.
We got a fucking AM radio host on here. Come on, Giorgio. You couldn't find just like a band to come on and, you know, go beast mode? Jesus. Ufology truly is the greatest interdisciplinary of all professions. I don't know if I'd call it a profession. But you could be anything. You can be a radio host. You can be an Austrian. You can be anything and be a ufologist.
Mainstream scholars believe the andesite blocks found at Puma Punku were formed by hand with primitive stone tools.
Can you imagine just how heinous this is? How much damage this has done and mistrust in actual institutional science this has caused? the constant bashing on mainstream, but the mainstream believe
were formed by hand by these stupid, ignorant, pathetic savages.
But some researchers point to the intricate stonework as evidence of the use of advanced precision technology.
You can achieve right angles,
integrating new PDA data,
and smooth fucking surfaces with, like, fucking aggregate. You can sand this shit down. Have these people ever just, like, rubbed rocks together? Like, it will tend towards being smooth. You can... Dude.
Technology.
One of the amazing things here at Pumapunku is the precision of the blocks.
Look at that! I'm be real, it's a very good 90-degree angle. I'm not discounting that at all. Super impressive. But
it's a fucking square, bro.
You can see him wobbling the square. It's not like a perfect 90 degree. If he puts the black part down on the top, the bottom part is slightly off. Because it's not a perfect fucking angle. It's really close. I'm not discrediting it. It's really good. It takes skilled craftspeople to make something like this. But if their whole thing is like, it is literally perfect and can only be done with lasers, it's not fucking perfect.
You can see with
Look at how much it's wobbling! There's light shining underneath it, bro.
Very accurate.
Very accurate.
Dude, you didn't watch this footage back when you were there and be like, fuck, we should find another stone, or like, you know, at least I can fudge it so people don't see that it's coming off the rock. The whole point of that square is to be a perfect 90. It's coming off, it's not a 90. Jesus.
integrating new PDA
But how
data.
could such primitive people, living perhaps tens of thousands of years ago, have produced such flawless stonework?
Excuse me. By that time, they were modern. When they made this, they were modern. Bro, can you imagine if I do the reverse of Milo's example before? Transporting one of these ancient people to our current day and hear the slander they're being given?
That mentality is literally the entire problem with this, because these people are viewing humanity as the fucking, you know, ethnologists of the late 1800s did, as moving on a gradient from primitive and savage to civilized and technologically advanced. When that is not how it fucking works. As much as I love, you know, Sid Meier's Civilization, history does not move through the gradient of technology. That's just not how it happens. But you are literally looking at mountains of evidence that they did have the technology to fucking do it. You never question how the fucking Colosseum was built. You never question how the fucking Parthenon was built. But you sure as shit question how this was built. Again,
that's the same, right? That was the logic I used before. They can find actual people living in a similar timeline from other regions, but they never question those.
I want to underscore that I am not calling people who believe in this theory, who promote this theory, who are interested in this theory, racist. But you can see how theories like this, just like many other ancient history theories, have this weird undertone of racism. It's just so weird, bro. It's so fucking weird. Why y'all gotta be like that?
The most interesting and unusual stones.
Bro is out here wearing the fucking Indiana Jones hat, just like brushing a rock. Hey Google, what do archaeologists do?
Each of these small drill holes are basically evenly spaced.
Okay, all right, Jesus Christ, fucking Indy, let me show you how you do that. Oh, gee, here's a really large rock. I want to put drill holes at the same distance. How could I possibly go about doing something like this? I suppose this would be completely impossible without a fucking, whatever that is, a micrometer, micrometer, if you will. Oh, wait, I have a brilliant idea. Hey,
integrating
Dave,
new
hand me
PDA
that
data.
stick. Thanks, Dave. That's really nice of you. Awesome.
New blueprint.
Fuck.
Acquired.
There we go. Look at that. I want all of the fucking holes to be this far apart. Hey, Dave, can you hand me that pebble off the ground? Thank you. I will now put this fucking stick on the rock and mark each end, and then move the stick and mark it again. And would you look at that? The whole fucking rock has evenly spaced marks across the whole thing. And now I can take a dowel and fucking aggregate and drill a hole really slowly on each one of those points. Boom, fucking done. Jesus. Experimental archaeology in your own living room. Who needs 2 bricks and...
You know what's crazy? My daughter is watching some of like creative shows once in a while when we actually wanted to watch TV that isn't involving either Bluey, which is a great show, okay? Bluey is fucking awesome. And or the plethora of Barbie shows that she is enamored by. This is not me choosing it, this is her. She also likes Spidey. But amongst those are like some creative shows that the Danish television has put out there, and some of them actually teaches kids how ancient tools work. And there was this one that I got to see about how people will use ancient instruments like old drills, the one that you are spinning there with your hand and cranking and everything. And I was actually very happy seeing that, because so many people don't know where things come from and or are made, and it's not just children, actual adults are the same way. So explaining these things at a very young age might be the thing to help us prevent this type of behavior happening.
$20 when you got one fucking chopstick.
And how anyone could think that primitive human beings could have done this. You know, it's just crazy.
Dude, shut the fuck up. Get out of here with that. I mean, look around you at the evidence. Do you see anything that would suggest these people knew anything beyond ooga booga but banging rocks together? Ooh. Eric, I would like to apologize. I swear I'm doing this in your honor. You are genuinely an inspiration for what I do today. I do not take my crash out in vain, okay? This crash out is, it's the yin to your yang, you know?
But dude, Eric doesn't care. He's in his spaceship traveling, searching for space hookers right now. Dude is probably being cheered on like the Master Codebreaker and the Last Jedi in the galaxy far, far away.
Otherworldly technology was used at Pumapunku. Where is the proof?
Angry smile.
Bro, that's what I'm asking. That's it. Are you gonna answer? Please do.
Oh, sad. Sad face.
In Danville, Illinois, machinist and toolmaker Chris Nutt has put the Pumapunku stone through the ultimate cutting test, using both laser technology and a modern diamond saw. Though age has worn the surface of the ancient example, the comparison reveals distinct differences.
You've got vitrification on the laser cut side, and then of course you've got circular tool marks on the side cut with the diamond saw, and then whatever tool they used to cut the ancient surface must have been a different method.
I wonder what method.
That's good. I'm glad they didn't try and say it was one of those. It wasn't the saw or the fucking melting. But fucking aggregate. But fucking aggregate, dude.
Do you think it's possible that some type of a diamond precision tool was used on the old surface, but because it was such a long time ago, that over time the surface became a bit more rough, and we're talking 10 or even 15,000 years ago?
That is a reasonable speculation.
Detecting massive energy signature in the region. Cannot identify.
The chains of logic are just delightful. Truly delightful. I gotta say, I fucking love Giorgio. I know I'm crashing out over this because that's like what I do here, but like, you know, my lifelong goal is to smoke a fucking fat one with Giorgio. That's all I want out of this life. Giorgio, get in touch. Let's fucking do it sometime, all right? We could make a collab for the centuries. Can you think of how mutually beneficial it would be if you and I sat down in front of a camera together? Exactly.
Whatever machinery it is that they had was able with amazing accuracy to replicate one after another.
Performing structural analysis.
That's very sophisticated.
Yeah, it's an ingenious way of building a
All right, I don't think we should be trusting these guys to tell us that this level of precision is evidence that all of these blocks were cut from the same mold. Because once again, you can remake nearly identical copies of the same thing with very simple technology. Let's say the middle of the fucking H block is this length. I'm bringing my broken chopstick back. You go around to all the fucking stonemasons and you say, yo, fucking Chris from Boulder, this is how big the middle of the H is supposed to be. Let me mark it for you. And then he says, that's awesome. Do you want to join my polycule? I need a fucking, okay, you know what? I'm saying it. I'm putting it out there. Video number 35 million that Milo, you know, is going to promise that someday will get made. Are you a stonemason in the greater New England area? Email me if you think that you could offer some insight in shit like this.
Freaking take Phidias from ancient Greece. When did he live? 400 BC? 420? 430? Something in that ballpark. Created some of the Olympian statues that you see in the Parthenon. And he had to create replicas, or not replicas, but like create the same models for the many people that were standing next to the god that he had to depict. Continuous iteration, continuous reproduction of the same thing again and again and again, because he was a sculptor that had to hone that craft. The fact that these people are unable to understand this or are willingly lying about it is the thing that I fucking hate. And they, of course, are not going to argue for a similar thing because there's way more research that is being done in these areas and something that is way more documented because these were the ones who had the greatest expansion and wrote a lot more about them because they had an actual language. So in this case, you can't be bullshitting as much as you are doing with other cultures.
I would love nothing more than to meet like an actual stonemason who works with stone and can demonstrate how shit like this can be done with hand tools. Because I guarantee you that it fucking can. So I've been yearning for a video where I can be like, this is how this is done. But I don't have the skills to do it, which is, these guys really don't either. So if you are a stonemason, if you know a stonemason, if you have, you know, share this video with some fucking guy that does it online. I don't know, let me know. I would love to do a video showing how to do a fucking right angle with hand tools or make something fucking flat.
After years of research, mainstream archaeologists have said the massive stones were hewn at quarries over 60 miles away and then rolled to Pumapunku on logs.
What nobody talks about is the irrefutable fact that we are at an altitude of 12,800 feet, which means we are above the natural tree line.
All right, George, riddle me this. If this was built 2,000 years ago, the climate was different 2,000 years ago. So maybe there would be trees. But putting that aside, let's just assume that there's no fucking trees.
Oh, no.
Dead stop, full stop. Wouldn't you be surprised?
Don't
Not
do this
saying
to
he's
me.
wrong. If you're making wooden rollers, do you think you're gonna make a goddamn 60-mile long road of wooden rollers to roll the fucking stone there? No, you're gonna have like a handful of wooden rollers and you're gonna be moving it and putting the rollers in front. And if the stone is originating from a quarry 60 miles away, you don't need to cut the goddamn rollers up where the fucking building site is. You cut the rollers close to the fucking quarry and you put the things in front of it and you roll the thing up there and some poor bastards drag their asses back to roll the fucking next ones.
Would have required some kind of super technology, levitation and anti-gravity, huge lifting vehicles, something that ancient aliens would have had.
It's just one of those things. It's just one of those days. How do you fucking know what
It's not about he say, she says bullshit.
Every time I had to say something, I'd be here.
He should have continued it. He should have continued the song. God damn.
For years. This is literally the thing that I always say about pseudoarchaeology. Pseudoarchaeology is always at an advantage to actual archaeology because it is so easy to say some bullshit and it takes so much more time to undo it. It takes one idiot to throw a stone into a lake and 10 wise men to get it back.
To make these, almost exactly the same. It's almost like a Lego system of interconnecting blocks, and that is unique on this Earth.
But that doesn't mean that it was built by aliens. There was just a quality control guy that went around and was like, fucking Chris, the goddamn H block needs to be this big. I've shown you 12 times, and no, for Christ's sake, I don't want to join your fucking polycule.
Also a thing, let me just explain the concept here. If aliens, just aliens, are able to travel across space that we have not been able to detect, okay? Are able to travel across galaxies to make it to us. The more likely scenario is an Independence Day scenario. They are not here to help. Yeah, we made a trip across space-time just to reach a place to help them lift some stones. The fuck?
Many of the blocks were prefabricated blocks.
Eric!
Prefabricated blocks means...
Eric, this one's for you. Ah, the sky's blue. Eric is smiling down at us. Rest easy, my friend, rest easy.
With his blue suit.
The Pumapunku are the ruins of temples made by the Aymara. Aymara are the Highland Indians up there. But the Aymara were Stone Age people. They had not even writing.
Oh, Eric. You're putting me in a tricky position here, my friend. I don't want to seem like I'm dancing on your grave. So I need to be very careful with my words here. Eric is an older gentleman, as you could see, even at this time. And so I will give him some slack. But once again, he is falling into the exact same trap of they were a primitive Stone Age people who didn't even have writing. That's because technology does not work like that. It is not a linear progression, as the sort of Eurocentric worldview would have one think. Y'all, I'm gonna be totally honest. We are halfway through this episode, and I have just finished my second cider, and I don't think I can get through the rest of this. Not because I don't want to and because I can't get more shit-faced. I always can. But I don't need to give my editors 8 hours of footage 2 weeks before we need a video out. So I think I'm gonna call it here, and I may pick this up. I may pick this back up because I'm invested. I'm invested in Giorgio's hair. If you want to see me finish this episode, let me know. I would be more than happy to. But for now, I'm gonna go drink some water, and I'll hand it back over to Milo in the studio.
Also, one of the things that I really do not understand, they don't take into account, is that an obvious reason why we are not observing something similar in, let's say, Eurasia, was that there clearly was no need to create a similar structure here. Like, what are you going to find some of the Neolithic structures here for? There are some stuff in Malta. You're going to find the obvious Stonehenge, and perhaps that would then be past Bronze Age, then Middle Ages, with, let's say, more here in Scandinavia, with the many stone forts that some still created. But for the vast majority of time, if you're looking for something like Neolithic structures, which is like 8,000 years ago, in that range, 8 to 5,000 years, these are things that they did not need to, because they finally, the people who moved across, like, from Asia and all northern part of Africa and started taking over the continent, they used fucking wood because the area permitted them to create that. They work with wood. That's why some of the ancient structure that we find are literal wooden villages and wooden houses. Also, they weren't constantly suffering from seismic events. They weren't plagued by volcanoes all the time. Perhaps some areas there in Portugal, but like, you can employ just simple reason to know these things. You don't need to think so extra. But then again, as we talked about before, being extra is a hallmark of humanity.
I don't know what I was thinking, that was something that I could do entirely in one sitting. That was really awful. But I'm a man of my word. I'm going to finish the episode. I just need to sleep it off. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate if you could leave an interaction. Comments, likes, shares, and all that good stuff helps boost the video in the algorithm, and it doesn't cost you a cent. Ad revenue is what keeps the channel going and allows me to continue making this content for free here on YouTube. Your interactions help more people see it, which allows me to continue making it for free. Like I always say, it's like tipping the bellhop. I also want to give a big thank you to everyone watching at the live premiere, Sunday nights, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hi, everybody. Hi everybody, how's it going? And of course, a massive thank you to my editorial team. I may be the one in front of the camera, but they are the only reason these videos look half decent. Each one of these videos represents hundreds of hours of work between about 10 different people, and they are the true beating heart of this team. So join me in giving them a big thank you. Also, for our 3 million subscriber special, I want to do a bit of a meet the team because there's a lot of new people that you guys have never met before. Give everyone a chance to, get on camera for a second. So if you have any questions that you would want to ask the team, drop that in the comments. And lastly, if you want to support the channel directly and get some beautiful swag to decorate your house or apartment, head on over to the store and grab a
if you have international shipping, I'll order one.
We got pins, we got all kinds of fun stuff. Like I said, all the proceeds go to helping keep the channel alive and are split with the actual artist. Myself and the rest of the team are very grateful for any and all purchases. Like I said, it helps keep the channel running and also means that we don't have to take shitty sponsorships. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching. My name is Milo Rossi. Remember to stay curious, stay inquisitive, and most importantly, you can stream it on Papatuku and with a Crumble subscription. Wow, Crumble like the cookie? You're telling me I crumbled this cookie?
Yeah, that was a fun video. As always, folks, so please do the same here on this channel. If you find my commentary to be entertaining for you and you laughed alongside me and also got a little bit frustrated, that comes with watching Ancient Aliens. That being said, though, wish you all to have a wonderful day. Stay awesome, stay learning, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Jetzt ging's noch. Jetzt auf einmal, nachdem ich mich einmal da pieksen lasse, geht der ganze Game to shit.
Scans indicate this structure is composed of a metal alloy with unprecedented integrity. No match is found.
The sandwich is the ultimate versatile meal, a dish typically consisting of meat, cheese, or vegetables, often a combination of all these things between slices of bread. The beauty of a sandwich is that the bread serves as a delivery vessel for almost any type of food, allowing your imagination to be the only limitation of what a sandwich can be. In America alone, we have a multitude of iconic sandwiches that are just as different as Jamie Oliver and Gordon Ramsay. And today on Pro Chef Reacts, we watch Future Canoe make 7 of these iconic sandwiches with his Ligma fork while he keeps waiting for his dad to come back with the milk. As the owner of my very own sandwich shop, Mission Sandwich Social, will I be judging Future Canoe? You bet your ass I will. Before I go on with today's episode, I do want to give a special shout out to my amazing patron, Adam Garcia. Thank you so much for your support, and with that said, on to the reaction. Let's dive right in. We're going to watch I made 7 iconic American sandwiches.
You did?
No, not me, but somebody that we like. We're a fan of this guy.
The most famous sandwich in the world is probably the idiot sandwich.
What are you? An idiot sandwich.
And then in 2021, Gordon made himself one. I saw a couple weeks ago, Joshua Wiseman did a sandwich tour all over the country. And since then, every night I think about him. I mean his food. I don't have that type of...
So you want to get fat.
So you want to get fat.
Oh yeah. Nah, who cares? Who cares? YOLO! 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 Really? You just got it now?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not 100% racist, but...
Welcome to the So You Want to Get Fat podcast. I am your host, not your typical chef, Brian Sao. Today with me is my dear, sweet, hurt, ball.
Solange es funktioniert, I guess. Solange funktioniert's.
Everyone in the comments, let Frenchie know how much you love him.
Verteidiges Gewehr. Da.
You've had a day. You've had a day. We've actually...
I had a night.
Ich weiß ja, wo ich hin muss. Also ich sammle jetzt den Temperatur noch ein.
There's a lot to tell you, but on the meat and potatoes of today's episode, to cheer us up,
Tafel
we're
ein.
going to watch good old Uncle Roger review Gordon Ramsay's steak. That's right. We're going to check out...
Geh eben kurz nach da oben, scanne eben kurz den durch und die Waffe ein, aber ich werde nicht die Waffe aktivieren dieses Mal. Den kann ich sowieso nicht speichern, das ist irgendwie verbuggt. Ganz komisch.
What happened?
Gochujang?
Irgendwie wollten sie nicht.
What? Buy this shit, okay? Because with the amount of shit that's going on between Frenchie and I, we need some money. We need some money. Well, okay, I'll
Alien
start.
durch.
The OnlyFans.
Yeah, the OnlyFans.
That was my last resort.
Ich scanne dich, aber ich werd nicht, nö.
AWS went down.
Tschüss.
Amazon
Yes.
Web Services.
That was Monday, right?
That was Monday.
And it still affects yesterday.
Yes. No, for me it came. I was fully back up yesterday, but
Because I got an email today that
good.
Blackbird is still not running.
Really? Ugh. Well, the fall of
weg?
AWS
Oh no,
completely
don't tell me.
ruined my day. Totally killed
war doch grad
sales.
noch
It
da
was a
drin.
3-day weekend because of Diwali. Oh, I think that's how you pronounce it. Schools were closed. It's the Indian holiday. So it was a 3-day weekend, and normally 3-day weekends, Mondays are very good for us, but we could not take a single app order because our POS system not working. We could take in-store sales, but we lost all of our app sales, and
nobody knows how to use a phone.
yeah. Well, we did have an increase.
This thing? Boop, 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 boop.
Yeah.
Ring, ring, ring,
Yes,
ring.
yes, I would like a.
Nobody knows how to
this
do that.
sandwich- No, not anymore. Not anymore. We did have an increase in dine-in business, but app orders are 50% of our business.
No,
So,
no.
Not only
No,
was it
no,
supposed to be a
no.
busy day, but it was also a bust because we lost app orders. So not good.
Steck
No way.
fest.
But how about you, buddy?
Ich geh nach da oben.
Let's move on.
Geh kaputt.
Moving on. Frenchie's not happy. So let him know how much you love him. But I got something to cheer you up. Good. All right. I was
Okay,
a victim
kein
of
Wasser.
racism. Somebody
Das ist
left
schon mal ein
this
Stück
comment
besser.
on my Instagram last week, and they
Aber
wrote,
dunkel,
what type of
warum
dog?
dunkel?
And I replied, your mom's pussy.
I like.
You like this? It make you feel good?
I like it.
Yeah. So yeah, bring it on, motherfuckers. Oh shit! I forgot to turn on my.
Oh, there you are.
There I am. You guys probably were wondering who was talking this whole time. Okay, so I'm a victim of racism, and then Frenchie and I got to hang out with comedian Eric Andre at Burger Bash.
But did we? Was that really Eric Andre?
I am not gonna say much because he is, from what I'm told by his team, he was filming himself at the New York Food and Wine Festival
the
Burger
fuck?
Bash for his podcast. So Spotify now has video for their podcast. Eric Andre has a very popular podcast, and he's
Wait, so we should keep.
relaunching-
So when is
This
he?
game
wait,
is fucking
are we gonna
bricked
get
as
Are we
fuck.
gonna be on his Spotify?
on his podcast potentially.
We're gonna be on
Yeah,
his podcast.
yeah, that's what he was filming for.
Okay.
So he came in. Listen, I can't divulge anything
Ich weiß nicht,
because I don't
welche
wanna
Mod das
spoil
macht,
it,
aber
but I will
Alter.
tell you this much. Did I
What
tell-
the
What,
fuck?
that he was high as a kite?
Okay, I won't tell you what he was on, but let's just say that within 5 minutes of meeting him, I go, yeah, I'm a little nervous. I'm a big Eric Andre fan, and I go, hey man, do you want a drink? And he goes, I'm not drinking tonight, man. I'm on
a trip.
Yeah, I'm on a trip right now.
I'm on a voyage.
Yeah. This was within the first 5 minutes of meeting him. I will tell you that my adrenaline was running on 11 the entire time. There were many moments I thought we were gonna get booted out.
What the fuck?
And then somewhere in the middle, I realized I have a very famous person that I'm chaperoning, and nobody's stopping us for anything. Because wherever Eric Andre wanted to go, everyone just went right over here, sir.
But it's not so much that he's not so quickly recognizable. You'd have to like figure out. You have.
No, everyone recognized.
Yeah.
Everyone and the moment I went to
It
staff,
wasn't the cameras.
it's probably that too, but the cameras weren't always
You bring
on.
a big ass camera and a crew.
Well, whenever I went to anybody and I said I'm here with the Eric Andre team, everyone's like, okay, where do you need to go? No questions asked.
okay.
They brought us straight to the judges table.
Fucking stuck.
And the security guys who were supposed to stop us, they were fans, so they're saying what's up to them and just let us barge right in. It was amazing. All right, that's all I'm gonna say because
I know those security guards. Those are the same security guards.
Oh, really?
Since always, when they see me, they love me.
Hell yeah. Well, everyone
I
loves
bust their
it.
chops.
Everyone loves it at Burger Bash.
But speaking of which, because Did you go to the judges' table before you came to see me?
No, you were our first stop, and we also filmed a segment.
Did you not see Pat? Did you see Pat beforehand?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Why? What happened?
Because Pat LaFrida. Pat said when we're gonna go see Paul. Is that Pat was like, let me go with you. He was like, why? So Paul doesn't fucking kill you because I like we don't know what.
Right. We don't know how the sparks are gonna fly. You know, the sparks may just fly and dissipate, or the sparks may ignite gasoline.
Yeah.
You know.
Meanwhile, Pat, who's like 6'4", is worried about Eric Andre meeting me, who's like 5'7".
Which, by the way, Eric Andre loved.
Good.
Yeah, and he also said this was the best burger.
Funktioniert auch nicht. Ich habe keine
I
Ahnung.
went somewhere else. But he did love your burger.
Which one did he like?
He really loved our buddy Chef Jay's burger. No one? Remember we?
Oh
had
yeah.
Yeah.
I think they won.
No, they didn't win.
They didn't win?
No, they didn't.
Selbst
But,
Spiel verlassen geht
Our
kaum.
buddy.
Who?
Wait, wasn't he on the podcast? The guy from No One? No.
No one was here on the podcast, but he was also.
Ich kann kaum was machen. Ich kann das Spiel kann nicht machen. Ich muss wahrscheinlich einen Spielstand machen. Der andere ist dieser ist komplett Schrott.
But he was there. Our buddy was there. I made sure to. The first stop was to Frenchie. They filmed a segment, and then we went to visit Jay. Filmed a segment there.
Da ich euch gerade nichts anderes bieten
I don't know
kann,
when this episode comes out.
muss er sagen.
All I know is that
Danke
Eric
fürs
had a great
Zuschauen.
time,
Wir sehen
loved
uns
you,
bis zum
and he
nächsten
wants
kleinen
to come to
Stream.
Lower Bosch for dinner and so.
Ciao. Ich
I
versuche das
think
hier
we'll
irgendwie
get
zu
more
reparieren.
out of him, like at a
Und
tranquil.
wenn es nicht geht, dann sehen wir uns auf dem
Sit
neuen
down.
Safe.
Yeah, we'll actually get to know
Bye.
him.
Yeah.
Well,